What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We're back today for another story time finally. The thing is, this story will have to be part Patreon, part YouTube, because lately some of the most random videos have been getting demonetized on my channel. Like sometimes the video will be fine for a month or so and then suddenly demonetized. And the thing is, when YouTube does that to a channel or videos on a channel, that channel is not promoted as much. So I've been taking a hit lately with some of my views. So if you want to see 100% full complete details of this story, all the spice, all the steam, all the passion, then the uncensored version will be linked below on YouTube. Also, for the next few days, I do have a coupon going because it's Valentine's Day, y'all. So redeem that before it's gone. Also, at the end of this video, I want to read some of my favorite comments from the video I did Monday about how BTS actually led to productive legislative change in Korea and how they helped platform and expose a really cruel problem that a lot of fans are dealing with to go see them in concert. So I'm going to read some of those at the end of this video, and I'm going to be reading my favorite from this video in a future video. So if you want a chance to be featured, I may read some of your comments, leave them below. Also, as we were talking about demonetization and stuff, I just did a video that I think will actually be very relevant to this story about some of the reasons Korean men date foreign women and why are Korean men so open-minded. For some reason, I was battling with ads on that video, so it hasn't really been promoted as much, and I don't understand why. So please go watch that video. Check it out, leave a comment on the video, engage with that video. And I think it's actually very, very relevant to the story we're about to get into now. Okay, so today's story comes from Mirabel. She's been teaching in South Korea for 3 years. So she's very adjusted, very used to life in Korea. Like it's pretty normal day to day. She loves her friends. She loves her students. Her parents come to visit her. She's able to go home pretty frequently. She was able to negotiate that pretty well. So she never has to worry about being homesick. Anyway, some of her friends are in very legitimate long-term relationships. One of her really close friends is actually married. Mirabel's been on her fair share of dates, sure, but nothing serious has ever come from it. So one day, her close friend's husband says, girl, I got someone in mind for you. She's never done a blind date before, so she has some questions. As she's getting to know his resume, his dating resume, he seems very ideal on paper, her type. So she's like, okay, what's the catch? Why is he single? There's something you're not telling me. There's no way he looks this good and sounds this amazing. What else is there? What's wrong with him? Do I need to fix him? Anyway, nevertheless, she's like, okay, set it up. Do what you got to do on your end. If he's interested, I guess I'll be hearing from him soon. So over a week goes by and she hasn't heard from the hubby or this guy or her friend. She kind of assumed he just wasn't interested. No big deal. So anyway, now we jump to the weekend, and it was really normal for Mirabel and her friend to go out shopping, eating, and drinking. And this weekend was no different. So they met up earlier, they went shopping, they got dinner, but for the drinks, her husband invited himself. He said, hey, what are you girls doing? I'll come meet you. And it was pretty normal for the three of them to hang out. That's actually one of the reasons she started to get interested in dating, because she's like, I feel like a third wheel all the time. Like I want to be able to bring someone so you don't have to babysit me. Y'all can enjoy each other. So it wasn't at all unusual for the three of them to hang out together. So him coming along for drinks, cool. So they decided to go to a pocha. If you've seen Korean dramas, then you know what a pocha is. It's those like street food tents. It's like red tents. Inside, you have like soju, some ramen, some little street snacks on a skewer. Honestly, it's a whole vibe. So they went to one near Myeongdong because there's like a street of them there. Mirabel and her friend get there first and they see hubby. I'm gonna call him hubby in the story. We don't have a name for him or anything like that. But hubby is the friend's husband. So she sees them coming over. They wave them. Wait, huh? Because they see hubby's walking over, but he's not by himself. There's a guy with him who looks somewhat familiar because Mirabel has seen his photos recently. This guy she was supposed to chat with about a blind date, never heard back from. It's been over a week. She assumed he wasn't interested, but here he is for some reason. No one had any warning. And Mirabel was like, oh my God, I look like crap today. I wasn't planning to like impress an attractive man. Oh no, woe is me. So the two pairs cautiously approach like, hey, who's the plus one? But what's weird is hubby kind of doesn't acknowledge, oh yeah, this is my friend. He just, sorry about that. I know I was running late. Mirabel's friend is like, who's that? Then he's like, oh yeah, sorry. I wasn't planning to invite him or anything. We just happened to run into each other. And I want to know if y'all buy that because I'm curious. So anyway, the four of them sit down. By the way, we're going to call hubby's friend, AKA the blind date, Juno. because it's close to Bruno. We don't talk about him. So for a while, Mirabelle just sort of pretended he wasn't there. She just kind of focused on her friend, just talking with her friend. I mean, she didn't know what else to do really, because in her mind, he doesn't want to talk to her, because if he wanted to, he would have. Over a week and he hasn't used her number. So she's like, cool, he's not interested. I'm just gonna talk to my girl. So they've all been drinking for a while, and this is when Juno finally speaks, breaks the tension, and introduces himself. And when Mirabelle heard him speak for the first time, she was shooketh because his voice was so sensual and so deep.
Wow, that's actually pretty spicy. Wow, that's very spicy. Wow, it's so good. Whew.
She said he had a heavy Korean accent and said his English isn't that good and he's sorry he didn't reach out sooner, but he meant to, he's just shy. But honestly, Mirabelle wasn't upset. She's like, that's cool, you know, I don't know you, you don't owe me anything, but thanks for explaining. So they all started to talk more, and as they started to drink more, Juno started yapping. He's speaking English confidently, and I always say this because it's so funny. I mean, I think anyone's like that when they're speaking a second language, where when they're totally sober and have full control of their inhibitions, they're shy about it. They're a little bit insecure about secondary language skills or even third language skills. So they're like, oh, I don't speak that language that well. But once you have some liquid courage, you become an English scholar. I've seen it so many times. And so far, Mirabelle really liked Juno. The only problem is as they started talking and they started talking about their work and what they do and stuff, she was like, wait a minute, how old are you, by the way? And she found out he's 7 years younger than her.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
And she's like, yep, there it is. I knew something here seemed too good to be true. He's a baby. Out of curiosity, let me know in the comments below, what's the biggest age gap range you could do? Like 10 years older, 10 years younger, 1 year older, 1 year younger, 5? Let me know. Because I'm with someone 4 years younger than me, and before, I thought that was never gonna happen. I was like, that is way too young for me. Anyway, back to the story. They had a great night. Everybody's hitting it off. 7 years younger be damned. Juno promises he's gonna reach out to her. He wants to see her and get to know her one-on-one. And he could tell she was a little bit bothered, or a lot of bit bothered by the age gap. So he's like, I'll give you some time to consider this. So over the next few days, she could see that Juno is clearly a texter, not so much a phone caller. And she's like, it's probably because he's a little bit shy about speaking English, understandable. But they texted all the time, which is very shocking and very unfamiliar with her dating experience so far in Korea. He showed interest, he responded in a timely manner, and he kept the conversation going. It was never like a dry response where she's like, okay, well, I guess that conversation's dead. And the more she talked to him, the less she thought about the fact that he's 7 years younger than her. By the way, I don't know how old they are or anything. Just know he's an adult, okay? It's not like she's talking to a 17, 18, 19-year-old boy. It's nothing like that, okay? So as they continue to talk more, he's like, by the way, for our date, what do you want to do? Like, is there anything you've been meaning to do in Korea that you haven't done yet? She's like, I've pretty much seen everything I wanted here, but food's a pretty safe bet. And adorably, Juno remembered in one of their earlier conversations, she says she really craves good pasta, and it's hard for her to find really good pasta that's not like overly sweet, because in Korea, a lot of foods are sweet for some reason. And he suggested a restaurant that he thinks she'll like. With that, it was sort of a soft agreement to a date. Like, it's official. We're going to have a meal together one-on-one. Mirabelle decided to look up the place online, like to see if she's been there before. And it was unfamiliar. She's never been there, but she noticed like the ambiance and the background and the vibes. And she's like, oh, this actually looks like it's a little bit fancy. So she had this one dress that she's always kept, never really wore. We all have that article of clothing, right? Where it's like, you have no reason to wear this, but one day you might, so you keep it. She had a dress for this occasion. So she decided to send him a picture of the dress saying, I'll see you Wednesday night wearing this. And she also explained she had it for so long, never had a chance to wear it, but this feels like the appropriate time. And she also wanted to know what he was gonna wear. This led to an extremely flirty conversation between them two. They haven't really flirted like this yet. He said he couldn't wait to see her in it. He feels special that she's wearing this dress for the first time while being out with him on a date. And she said she can't quite explain how she felt, but it was like a sincere and sweet flirtation, not like a generic or hoish flirtation. And she was really looking forward to meeting him. So let's jump to Wednesday night when they meet. She uploaded a picture of herself in the dress on her Instagram story and said like date night. And the first person to react and respond was Juno. He was saying how lucky he is and how he can't wait to see her soon. So when they meet up, not only does he look good, but he smells good, and he's not shy like he was the first time they saw each other. As much as he says he struggles with English, she says she has no problem understanding him. So they had a really good dinner. And the only thing of note that she said is he would bring up his age, like, am I mature enough? Do you still think I'm too young for you? Things like that. But other than that, it was like a really normal, good conversation, good banter, good vibes. We'll definitely do a date number 2 outcome. And it made her think, age isn't necessarily a big deal unless you make it a big deal, as long as everyone's legal, obviously. And she decided to ask him about, like I've noticed it seems like younger men are looking for nunas these days. Like what's going on with that? Nunas are what Korean men call older women, like an older sister, which is weird because oppa is what you call like an older brother, but you also any older generic male, oppa, nuna, 언니. So Juno's like, I can't really speak for other men my age, but I just want to date someone who's a woman and not a kid. He said he doesn't like girls who act like kids and he wants a woman who knows what she wants. And he said a lot of his friends have similar thinking. Nunas, we up, Nunas. So yeah, after this first date, they were pretty inseparable for the next 2 weeks or so. They all decided to meet up at another pocha for a proper double date, not a surprise double date. And it's so cute because hubby was so happy to see his friend and his wife's friend hit it off. He's like, oh my God, I'm Cupid. I did good. So this is the night things took a turn, okay? So not a bad turn. Sorry, that sounded bad. They all had a lot of drinks. You know, it's the weekend, we celebrate and people finding love. It's a good time to be alive. So as the drinks are flowing, hubby just came out and asked about their lives. He asked if they did anything yet, how it was if they did. He was so invested in this relationship working and he had so many drinks, it just came out, you know? But before Maribel could come up with any sort of answer or say anything, because they hadn't done anything like that at all yet, Juno blurted out some things and he had a lot to say. He said he's been holding himself back, but it's been hard. He likes her so much and he knows he could please her, but he wants to wait because he wants to be a gentleman. He said he's young, but he's a quick learner. He has a lot of energy and he's fluent in body language.
I can hear it calling. Loving the way you wanna turn.
And this line is important because he said he won't do anything to her until she tells him that she wants him. Keep that in mind. Naturally, Maribel was flustered because where is all this energy coming from? He's talking a mighty big game all of a sudden, right? But what's crazy is it actually started to make her think about him in that way. She said part of her couldn't really get over the hurdle completely that he's 7 years younger than her. But with him saying these big claims and standing on business like that, she was like, actually? Huh. I know we've all seen this meme by now, right? Sabrina Carpenter, Bad Bunny. Anyway, they decided to make their way to a bar because it started to rain and they wanted to get indoors. In the bar, Maribel decided to stop drinking because she wanted to sober up because she was starting to have certain urges, especially when they danced together for the first time. This is the first time she got to feel him up close, the contours of him, the firmness of his body, the muscles, the warmth, his rhythm. And she was starting to let her intrusive thoughts win. So now we fast forward another few hours and their double date is over. It's late. Maribel is super torn, like, should we all just part for now or should I invite him to my apartment? He'd never been to her place before and they have been talking for a few weeks and it seems like it's time, maybe? That combined with the fact that it was really rainy. Oh my God, I'm Korean. That combined with the fact that it was really rainy and it was super late. Perfect conditions for a certain activity. So they say bye to hubby and her friend. And Juno's gonna help her get a taxi, but he was gonna hop on a bus because his place wasn't that far from where they were. But as her taxi arrived, Maribel told Juno to come in with her, get in this taxi with me. He seemed confused, so he's like, oh, I'm sorry, what? So she repeated herself. And then he's like, tell me why I don't understand. So then Maribel says, I want you. She said the magic words, the magic phrase, the catchphrase. So they both hop in the taxi and they are bound for her apartment. They get to her place around 3:30 in the morning and the rain is doing this thing where it's like letting up and you think it's gonna stop and then it starts again, coming down in buckets. Luckily they got a little break because they had to go to a CU to get some and some snacks and stuff. When they get inside of her place, Juno is analyzing everything. He started to look at her shoes, the magnets on the refrigerator, her bedding of course, pictures she had because she has like those little, you know, Polaroid pictures hanging up. And he told her apartment was very cute and very her. So Maribel hopped in the shower. Juno was gonna make some ramen. Then he took his turn in the shower and then she had some ramen. It actually seemed like nothing was gonna happen between them two other than actually just hanging out, shower, eat, go to sleep. Unfortunately, Maribel started to feel sleepy. Maribel fell asleep. She woke up like an hour later because she had to use the bathroom. She fell asleep where she was on her couch, but she was tucked in like a blanket was over her. And Juno was still awake, just kind of flipping through channels on the couch next to her. She's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm the old lady who just fell asleep. I invited him over for reasons and then I fell asleep. She apologized over and over and over, but he's like, dude, it's totally fine. It's late. I get it. No worries. I was watching this funny show. So she went to the bathroom and came back and decided to get the ball rolling, so to speak, pun intended. So she asked him how tired he was because he did look like he was getting tired, but as soon as she asked, he's like, no, I'm up. Why? What's up? Her sitting closer to him definitely woke him up and made him more alert. They're face to face and they have kissed before, like before tonight, you know, cute little pecks here and there. And she was about to kiss him again, but then he pulled back and said, tell me you want me. So she did. And as soon as she said those words again, it was like they were hungry for each other. That's what I'll say here on YouTube. This is where we get to the steamy details of their night on Patreon.
A few moments later.
Boy, that was a lot of spice on Patreon.
Well, that's very spicy.
But anyway, long story short, he stood on business. Everything he said in the pocha, everything he said he would do to her, he did to her. Instead of that good, it was good, great. So they got to sleep in a bit, which Mirabelle needed after what they just did. But Juno wasn't tired, he was hungry for actual food this time. He said he could go and get them something if she wanted, but she's like, how about we both just stay in bed and I'll order some food. So they did that and they watched TV and stayed in bed for a few more hours. Unfortunately though, Juno couldn't stay too long. He had plans for the evening. It is the weekend after all. So when he left her place, he kissed her and called her Nuna. And for the first time, she's like, I actually like being called Nuna. What the hell? And of course, she could not wait to tell her best friend about what had just happened. And I guess the details would make its way to her husband, and he was so invested in this, so that would be welcome news to him. Like, oh my God, they're hitting it off. I did good. But she still had this feeling that there was something she didn't know. Like everything was just too good to be true. 7 years younger aside, like there's something else, right? There's gotta be. And she had not a lot of time to think about that because Juno texted her again and said, hey, are you free for dinner on Tuesday after work? And Mirabelle actually liked meeting with him, not only on the weekends, but random days during the week too, because she's so used to trying to go on dates and getting to know people, but they only suggest meeting on the weekends. So she agreed to dinner, but she also just could not understand why was he single? Like how is he actually single right now? So Mirabelle asked her friend if she could come over to their place and, you know, talk about what just happened in person. She had no plans and Juno just left, so she was by herself. They like say less, come through. And when she gets there, she wants to talk to hubby about Juno. Like, listen, is there anything you think I should know before I dive into this relationship completely? She's like, I trust you and I know you wouldn't set me up with a jerk, but there's gotta be something, right? Like, or at least tell me about his last relationship. How did that end? How long ago was that? Hubby explains that Juno didn't talk about his ex that much. He met her a few times and Juno dated her for almost 3 years. They broke up about a year ago. And he said, from what I gather, like the few times I've met Juno's ex-girlfriend, she was quite materialistic. She didn't do a lot for him and it seemed like a one-way sort of relationship. And this is when her friend is like talking to her husband, like, babe, just tell her. Like, I think she should know. So Mirabelle's like, tell me what? Let me know if you think this is a big deal or not, because Mirabelle actually doesn't think it's a big deal. Apparently, the last relationship ended because Juno cheated on the ex-girlfriend. He cheated on her with her own friend. Hubby explains that Juno wanted to get caught by his ex because he tried to break up with her a few times, but she wouldn't accept the breakup. So he knew he had to hurt her to get her to actually want to leave him. So Mirabelle was relieved. She's like, oh, that's it? Oh my God, you scared me. I thought he had a kid. I thought he was married, was in a lot of debt with the mob. He's an offender, something like that. Something that's an absolute deal breaker like that. She's like, well, if she wasn't awful, if she accepted the breakup, maybe he wouldn't have cheated on her. Mirabelle's cool. She's like, that's it? That's all I needed to know? Are you sure? So to this day, they are still together. They are dating. They've been dating for 11 months now. Mirabelle says, don't be scared to try new things. You know, 7 years younger is way out of her comfort zone initially, but it's working out for her so far. And she never expected to be this happy with someone who was 7 years younger than her. Thank you, Mirabelle, for this story. I wish you love, peace, and soul. So yeah, if you guys want to send me your dating and career story times, you could email me at cc3@yahoo.com. Before we close out this video, I do want to read some of my favorite comments from Monday's video about BTS bringing legislative change to Korea and exposing or platforming a huge problem for fans everywhere. A lot of people were sharing their experiences with getting tickets, like if it was easy, if it was hard, have they tried? experiences, you know, and it's cool to kind of hear from people in all sorts of places, different countries and regions. This one's from Joanna-GD6YN. For us, it was really easy to get tickets. I'm going to the Munich stop. I remember us saying, wow, that was way too easy after getting them. But I've heard so many horror stories, so I'm just grateful that I could get some. By the way, if I mispronounce these names, I'm so dumb. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. True Tigress 8401. Isn't it interesting how other countries have become more democratic than America? As an American, I am both proud and ashamed of what our once lighthouse in the storm has become. I am praying we can change it around soon. Wish us luck. I second that. Keychains XX. I just think one of the ways as a fan we can help out by looking out for one another. Like I've seen armies calling out scammers and try to spread the word around. Mexican armies have a whole list and files of those scammers/scalpers who were able to purchase tickets before them at the venue. Crazy enough. And I have been spreading it around, telling others not to buy from those people. Most armies buy tickets to try to sell to other armies at face value or reasonable prices. Or there's accounts and group pages of armies selling within the fandom. There's armies gathering data and conducting surveys to try to see or gain evidence of alleged fraud, or even just to see if there's a code we can crack in understanding how to secure tickets. I think it really takes a community of fans, and maybe even all fans united to try to tackle the situation so we can all enjoy what we like, surrounded by others who feel the same way, bettering the experience. This one made me sad. From Tianquanet1. I didn't even try for tickets. I knew the resellers would get them first. GRNJUL75. This is so crazy. I wasn't a concert person until becoming a stay, and last year I got to see them in DC. I will say no more. As much as I would love to see them again, I won't because of this corruption and greed. It really is sick. This kind of greed is the only thing that's making our country worse and worse. I bet the guy from Ticketmaster is on that list, allegedly, you know, LOL. So yeah, guys, those are some of my favorite comments. Leave comments on this video and I'll read them together and we can maybe put them in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!